person on the call. It's a privilege to be part of this, and I hope that this will be an interactive session. I hope that we get to learn from each other as well, add value to ourselves at the end of today's conversation. I would also want to appreciate the team, Sanctified, Samino, Akintoye, and every other committee member trying to make this a success. We appreciate you guys. We want to encourage you. We want to encourage you guys to keep doing what you're doing because it's of great value, and it's influencing individuals' career in one way or the other. So today we'll be talking about being a key player at your workplace. So like I said, it's going to be an interactive session. I want to believe that most of us on the call are underpaid employment. So what that simply means is that we are working for people in either in a company, business, or various institutions. Those that would be self-employed amongst us might be quite few. But then it doesn't mean that we can also transfer those skills from those of us in the industry to our own personal business as well. Talking about being a key player at workplace, another way I would like to look at it, it's being successful at what you do. Because in this instance, being a key player, for those of us that are lovers of football, when you're talking about key players in certain teams, you want to, when you're looking at what a key player could look like, you want to picture or paint a scenario of Messi or Ronaldo or some of all those top athletes, people that you feel that when they are not in a particular team, you know something is missing, right? And that also connotes a symbol of success or a symbol of great performance. Somebody of great value, somebody of esteem, somebody that has been highly esteemed that could make positive impact or change in a particular in a particular engagement, workplace, or anywhere you find him or her. That's how I would like to look at it. And I think the whole essence of this conversation is to see how in our various careers, how we could be value adding, how we could be successful at what we do, how we could be what they call a good symbol of what they call in the professional world to be high performing team, right? So there's something that is very common in our in the professional industry today, talking about HPT. You hear people talking about high performing team, right? And there are so many qualities you look out for in an high performing team. And I'm also of the opinion that you cannot have you can't be a key player if you are not a good team member, right? So you can't Messi alone cannot make a team if he doesn't get the necessary support from other players. I don't see how he will do well, right? So in as much as we want to be a key player, there are certain things we also need to have in mind, and there are certain things we need to be cautious of to be a symbol or to possess that quality of an high performing team or of an high performing team member, right? So for me, just want to use this to again talking about being key player. Like I said, for some of us that are in the period that I'm the underpaid employment, what is deemed to be success for Mr. A might not be success for Mr. B, right? So at this point, I would just want to ask, we could just want to make use of the chat box. What do you think? What's your own definition of success as someone underpaid employment? What gives you fulfillment in your various places of work? I don't know if you could just type it at the chat box. Just want to have a view. and to see how just to get a sense of what success means for some of us under paid employment. Yeah. So can just make use of the chat box. What is success for you? Or what would you define success for you as an employee in an organization? Okay, do you want to say something? Yeah, go ahead, Toy.
Okay,
Yeah, sorry. So I find it difficult to find the chat box. I don't know. Is it just me?
I can see the chat box. So I just said hi now.
Oh,
yeah.
let me check.
Are you using your phone?
Yeah, I'm using my phone. I'm using my phone.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Okay, you can ask your question. I mean, you can say something on what Mr. Debo just said now on the success.
Okay,
How
okay.
will you describe the success?
All right. So for me, I think somebody who's a successful person at workplace will be somebody that could be relied upon, that always delivers, top job. Basically somebody you can always go to, that is likely going to give you the solution that you need. Someone that is supportive to everyone, that everyone feels as a direct or indirect impact on their performance.
Okay. 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 Any more contribution? So
Yeah.
so for you, okay, go ahead. Yeah. Sorry, someone was saying something.
No, you can go on.
Okay. Yeah. So because when you say I'm just trying to bring the theme of the conversation home. So when you say being a key player at your workplace, right? To some people that's success for them. They want to be that person they want to be that go-to person at the place of work. They want to be somebody that is in some spheres they call them high flyer, right? They want to be somebody that other people look up to, right? Why some people, what they're just interested in, they just want to do their job. What is on their JD? Their JD says come to the office, attend to five customers a day. They are good and fine. They go. That's for them. That's okay with them, right? So that was the reason why I actually asked. I had to take that survey because what is successful for Mr. A is different for what is successful for Mr. B, right? So, but then not to take much of our time, I'll just go straight to what I feel could stand us out in our various space of work, because I feel this is the essence of today's conversations. What can we be doing differently? What has been what do you think has not really given us that attention or that recognition we think we deserve at our place of work, and what can we do about it? What are the necessary improvements we need to make, and what could be what are things we could do differently henceforth? So that's part of what I would like us to talk about. And I know the kind of country we are has been such that I've made so many of us to be doing what we really don't want to do. We've had situation whereby some of us that are when we're on campus, we've always aspired to maybe work as an investment banker or be with some of the top multinational firms, but things didn't work our way, and we'll find ourselves in some certain places and the motivation is really not there. Even the compensation to is something else. Just like, okay, let me just be here. And in a way, emotionally, it's kind of affecting us emotionally. It's not really, we are not really motivated in what in what we're doing, and we're not really happy where we find ourselves, right? But I'm of this opinion that irrespective of where you find yourself, just give it your best, because in a way it tells who you really are, right? For the fact that you are working where you ought not to be working, or you get to work in a place by chance, and which that place may not be where you want to work, should not serve as a demotivation. Rather, it should serve as an opportunity for you to showcase the talent, to showcase the charisma, the qualities that you have, and it's an opportunity for you to show and to prove what you can do, right? So, but then for some of us that are in a place of dream, where we've always dreamt of working. You're doing well. Somebody like Toye now, enjoying life in finance, earning good money, and the likes, right? You want to feel that. I'm not like you know they can confirm. They can confirm. So you want to feel that that certain things. You want to believe that for somebody like that, he's motivated, right? Though, like I said again, success means different things to different people, right? But then come to think of it, right? He may feel that is not how will I put it now? He's not operating at the capacity he wants to operate. Like he's not getting that necessary recognition, right? Things are not he's not getting that recognition he thinks it deserves, right? And that's why in some of these top companies there's an opportunity for you to have a coach. There's an opportunity to have a career coach or a mentor, somebody that guides you, that help you career wise. It's not all of us that it's not all companies that have such kind of scheme in place, right? But for those companies that have such, it's something that really helps, right? And it also guides you on what you need to be doing differently to earn that kind of recognition you want to get at your place of work, right? So now let me just go straight to it. The first thing I would just want to add is that for you to be a key player, or for you to be an high-performing team member in any place you find yourself, the first thing you should know, you should be able to recognize the reason. You should be able to know your why. So, like somebody will always say, it says when you know your why, your how, the powerful your why, right? The powerful your why, the easier your how, right? So when you say, okay, I want to be a key player, right? You want to ask yourself, why do I want to be a key player, right? If you know why you want to be a key player, it makes it easier on how to go about it, right? And one of those things I know that has really worked for most of that has really worked for me and has really worked for most of the so-called people that are doing well in their career are people that are good team players, right? I know that in some spheres it may be very difficult to work with some certain people, right? But then that's where you need to be your emotional intelligence need to be, that's where you need to put your emotional intelligence skills to play, right? So the first thing I would like to talk about here for you to be a good key player in your place of work is that you must be a good team member, right? You must be a good team member. You must be able to learn to work with other people, right? You must have good social networking skills. You must be able to relate with people, right? Irrespective of who they are and where they come from. You must be somebody that appreciates diversity, right? And it really helps, right? Because once you're able to relate with people, it's easier for you to communicate with them. Communication is very key in any organization you find yourself. That's one. Two, you must be somebody that is very proactive, right? So like some people will say, take for example, you're in a particular level and you'll be looking up for promotion to another level. Some organizations or some companies will tell you that they may not spell it outright to you. When you're being given, take for example, you're employed as a senior, for some of us working in an accounting firm or consulting firm, right? Let's say you're a senior associate and you've been a senior associate for say close to 1 or 2 years, and you're looking forward to become an assistant manager or a manager, right? Don't forget that what they employ you as is a senior associate, right? And if they're employing you as a senior associate, it means that they expect you to be doing what a senior associate is doing, right? So let's say a senior associate is supposed to manage an engagement. As a senior associate, you're supposed to manage resource that is being allocated to you. You should be able to manage your relationship, manage the company's relationship with its clients, as well as top audit executive. Those are your duties. Those are some of the things that is expected of you to do. You are doing those things, right? They call it meeting expectations, right? You are meeting expectations. That alone is not sufficient for you to be a key player or to be fully recognized, because other people are doing the same thing you're also doing, right? So what makes you different, right? You need to do something that stands you out of the crowd. If you are doing what every other person is doing, there's no way you can be a key player. There's no way you can get that recognition you want to have at your place of work. So if you're a senior associate and you want to be a key player, you should start doing things that are a level above of things people that are a level above of you are doing. Things like you should be doing things that assistant managers are doing. You should be doing things that managers are doing. You should be doing things that people at your level would ordinarily will not do, right? So that stands you out. It's easier for people to say, this guy is a senior associate, but the way he's working, right, he's doing above what his peers are doing, right? These are some of those things that actually stands you out, right, in your place of work. I've talked about being a team player. I've talked about you being acting, you acting a role ahead of, like doing beyond what is expected of you, right? Exceeding expectations, I will put it that way, right? You cannot be a key player in your place of work if you are somebody that is not proactive, right? At every point in time, see, I tell people that if you are working for someone, right, and you are working for that somebody as if you are working for your own business, right? As if it's your own business you are working for. There's no way people will not appreciate you. There's no way you will not be recognized. Most times, because we are not really motivated at what we do, we are not really we don't show that enthusiasm, that zeal. We don't really put in all the effort, all the resources we need to put in to do well, right? Or to stand out of the crowd. So I think there's a need for us to have this shift mentality, and that's why I appreciate that. Me as a person, I'm somebody that's enterprising, right? So if you have a business, if you know what you do, if you have a business and you want to grow that business, you know how much time you invest in it, you know how much research you will make, you know how much extra effort you are ready to put in. So also it is when you're also working for other people, right? People want to see somebody that is ready to go the extra mile, that is ready to put in more hours, that is ready to be on time for meetings and possibly go late. I'm not saying that you should overdo, but somebody that is ready to show some sense of commitment, somebody that is ready to do more than the extraordinary, right? Yeah. So yeah, I could see some question on the chat box. I'll get to respond to it time when the time is when I have the opportunity to do that, right? So talking about you being able to talking about how you can be proactive, right? Take for example, you're having a meeting, or take for example, let's say that you have a session, take for example, and you're opportune to be part of a committee that is to execute a particular plan or strategy. Before that meeting is being held, you should have been able to do some research. Like, so sorry that being a consultant and being someone that has worked in series of accounting firms, most of my experiences or most of what I'll be talking about will be tailored towards people that have worked in this practice. But then I know that you can actually also translate some of these ideas or some of these thought process into in each of the industries you may find yourselves, right? So take for example, I'm supposed to have I'm supposed to be the in charge, or I'm supposed to manage a particular audit engagement, and this is the first time we're having a meeting with the audit executive, and they've involved me before and to say, Debo, we are going to be having a certain meeting before about so and so clients, right? On a norm, what I would expect it to be, nobody will tell me this, but what is expected of me to do is to, before that meeting, go make some research, learn more about the company, do some personal research on my own, right, about the company. And what's the idea of doing that? Such that when we're having that meeting with the audit executive, the partners, the CEO of that companies, when I'm giving contributions, right, people will be like the kind of value, the kind of contribution you're giving in such kind of meetings we tend to show that no, this person is not like it will be quite insightful, quite value adding, and it makes people want to see that no, you're already operating ahead of them, right? Because at such kind of meetings, you don't even need to. You know, how do I put it now? You don't really need to do any eye service, right? But because every organization is looking for people that will add value to them, and that's why they are paying you. They are paying you for a value, and they need to see how you can reciprocate that value. And you can only reciprocate that value through your skills, right? How are you able to contribute? How are you able to add value not to the firm but also to the client, to their clients and companies, right? So and that speaks to proactive. I'm just trying to give you what an instance or how you could be proactive at your place of work, right? You doing your own research, trying to bring uncommon solutions and value to conversations, right? It makes you stand out, and it makes people look at you in a different manner. That's one, right? Another way again for you to be recognized or to be a key player at your place of work is for you to involve yourself in other activities. Take for example now, you're staff of a particular company, right? And there are opportunities there are volunteering opportunities. Take for example, they're looking for people they're trying to come up with a social committee. They want to have a social committee. They want to set up a social committee. There's nothing stopping you from what's it called? For me, there's nothing stopping you from you being a member of that social committee, right? Take for example, they're looking for people that will serve as that will train junior members joining the team, joining the organization, right? There's nothing stopping you for you to volunteer, right? Because in such a way, in you volunteering, one, more people in the organization is getting to know you, right? You're also getting to know more people as well, right? And at the same time, you're not just doing what you have been paid to do, but you're also going the extra mile to assist the company, to help the company solve. So don't forget that if the company should have said, okay, if I'm to employ, take for example now, we want to get new, we're trying to bring in more people to the firm, and we're looking for people that will train them. And the company decides to go and look for a consulting company or another company that will train those people. It's going to cost the company more, right? But when people like you are there ready to volunteer, to assist the company, to do all those kind of trainings, right? You are saving the company costs in such a way you're adding value to the company, right? So these are ways in which you can stand out in your place of work, right? Another way again in which you could stand out again is that it's also good to know what is expected of you, right? You are asked to do certain things. Ask yourself, what is the company trying to achieve? Why are they saying I should do this? What is expected of me to do this right? If you have a clear-cut understanding of what's the expectation, what is it the company is expecting you to do, it's really, really going to go a long way. Again, don't also undermine the place of having mentors at your place of work, right? Don't also undermine the place of having mentors, people that are ahead of you. There's nothing stopping you having good rapport, good relationship with them. Once in a while, have a chit chat with them, right? Don't forget that in our place of work, like somebody will say, like I was watching in one clip, he said there are two currencies in a place of work: performance currency, right? I think is it performance currency and relationship currency now, right? Because at some point in your career, it's not about what you're doing, it's about somebody being able to speak on your behalf, right? It's about somebody being able to speak on. So there are times where you may have 5 sets of people that are doing extremely well, right? They are doing very well, right? But when it comes to who are we to promote in the place of work, it should be able to have people that take either you like it or not, no matter how objective, highly how would I put it, highly placed or highly no matter how reputable a company could be, right? There's politics in everywhere. They call it office politics, Some people may it may not be so it may not be so it may not be so very pronounced in certain climb, right? But take it or leave it, there's office policies in almost every place, right? So you should be able to have that understanding. You should be able to know how to play it well. So now when you've been able to do certain things you're able to do, right? And you don't have good communication, good rapport, good communication with certain people, I'm not saying you should bribe them. I'm not saying you should do eye service, right? But this is just a way of you trying to, just like when you are trying to interview for a job, you go there to boo them. You tell them you can do this one, you can do that one. I'm not saying you should lie, but you know what you normally do at that point. So at this point too, just like when you also need to have good rapport with some of all these top guys, such that when they are sitting at the board, they can be able to speak for you, right? Somebody should be able to say, no, I know Cynthia very well. She's hardworking. She's this, she's that, right? I've worked with her. This was my experience with her. Like, we should be able to give good accounts of how you've been able to discharge your roles and functions. It really does goes a long way to help. Again, another thing, again, sometimes some of us don't do is the fact that most of us are we're always very scared to say no. Some of us are very scared to question status quo. Some of us are very scared to stand out in the crowd. This is something I do a lot. Most of the organizations I've worked, most people know me to be somebody that is very outspoken, right? See, we just only have one life to live. Let me not go that route. But it's good whereby when you feel that certain things are not being done well, you should be able to question them, right? Every organization is looking for how they can be better off, right? And when they see somebody that is thinking out of the box, right, they tend to appreciate such kind of people, right? If really that organization really wants to know what they are doing. So you should be able to have that boldness. You should have that confidence to be able to question certain things the organization is doing, right? It shows that you are innovative, you are creative, and you are trying to add value to the organization. Somebody said, "Hope you are not being tagged later." So I think again, it also boils down on how you present it, right? Presentation is also very, very key, right? It's not that you are trying to say no, but there's a way you present certain things. There's a way you question things, right? There's a way you show curiosity, right? So let me put it like that, like your sense of how you're able to present it and your level of curiosity also speaks a lot, right? It kind of guide, like what I remember when I was in EY, we always say that the better the question, the better the answers, and the better the word works, right? When you ask the right questions, right, you'll be able to get the right answers, and it's going to help everybody have a good life. Sometimes most people are not able to ask the right questions, right? So of course, what is right question could be relative, right? But we're talking about questions that we need to be asking ourselves, right? Questions. So example of one question would be, most times in organizations, they do upward feedback. So when I say upward feedback, is most people at the top that get to appraise you. Your juniors don't get to appraise you. Who says your junior cannot appraise you? Right? So why can't the HR come up with that kind of scheme whereby not just the people ahead of me that will appraise me, but those people below me will also appraise me? That's an example of, like, sometimes for me, I don't know about others, but one of the ways I learn is to question certain things, is to question certain norms, right?
Okay, Mr. Debo, in order not to take our time, we have, I think, 10 minutes more. So,
Yeah.
we still take questions from our
people. Please go ahead, yeah.
So, maybe just take 5 minutes more to round up so that we can take questions. Yeah. So, I also have some questions to ask. So, this has been massive so far. So
yeah. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, that's fine. So like talking about wrapping up, right? Just in bullet points, right? I could also want to recommend certain books we could read. There are certain books on career that we could read. One of them is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's something we may want to also look at, right? High performance prioritize their tasks. People that you see to be people that I've said it, you should be a good team player, right? There's no how we could be a key player if you're not a good team player. You can't do it all yourself. You need the support of others, right? You should be able to prioritize your tasks. Sometimes you need to say no to your managers tactfully, because when everybody is giving you something to do, you are saying yes, 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 yes to them. You get to overwork yourself, and you may not really be able to. You may not do well in any of those tasks, right? So you should learn to say no to your managers or to your superiors tactfully. You should be able to focus on your goal, and like I said, the question should be, how can I add value to a particular process, to a particular job function? Then you should be able to appreciate smart work, right? Rather than just hard work. You need to network, not just with your people, not just with people at your level, but people ahead of you, right? Collaboration is very key. Teamwork is very key, and at the same time, there's nothing stopping you too from also trying to, every day you go to work, right? Take a review. Look at yourself. How did I handle a particular task yesterday? How can I do better today? Right? And take a review of your other colleagues, your other people at your level. What are they doing? What do you think will stand you out? What is the organization looking at? What do they want from you? And how can you better such processes? So because of time, I'll stop here. And like I said, it's always good to ask questions. So I want to believe that this question session too would help us throw more light to certain other areas. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. We really appreciate your time. Mr. Adebo, please accept our sincere appreciation for this outstanding presentation you made. Thank you so much for sharing your time and experiences with us. We all agree that this lecture is one of the most interesting we've had so far this year. It is, like I said earlier on, this is November-December session. It should be the last one for this year, and I think we all enjoy some of the things I had down here from what we've had so far. So learn to communicate. Communication is key. You must be proactive. You need to invest your time. To be a key player, you must have a sense of commitment. You must bring uncommon solutions to the table. So know what is expected of you. Learn how to network and collaborate. So I think we all gain one or two things from this beautiful lecture from Mr. Adebo. So if you have one or two questions, you can do that now so that Mr. Adebo can make justice to that. So questions, we are open to take your questions now. Okay, I think we have some questions here. Before that, okay, Mr. Debo, can we also call a key player a team player?
Yeah. Like I said, I want to put it at that because so we know that there are some people that are naturally good, right? They're talented, their authority is in what they do, but then they won't be able to achieve much if they don't get the support of others, right? So for you to be successful at what you do, you can't operate in isolation, right? So I feel for you to be a key player in this context, you should also be a team player.
Okay, thank you for that. You listed some qualities so far. I don't know if you can summarize it.
I think we asked you some question. To ask some question, yeah.
Okay, Toye is raising his hand. Okay, let's have Toye.
Yeah. Toye, you wrote, what if you have a bad reputation? How do you stage a comeback? Is that what you is that one of the questions for me, right, Toye?
Yes. I have like 3 of them in the chat box.
Okay. So let me take them from the very first. What if your battery is drained? Is that the first?
Yeah, so I mean, when you're in the workplace, you're doing very well, but at some point in time, you lost your motivation and you're unable to perform as you used to before. So what do you do?
Okay. Yeah. So let me say this, that this is a very good question, and it's something that's very there's an experience that is real, and it's common to most of us as employees. Like I tell people, life is a mixture of the good, bad, and ugly. Right? That you're happy today in doing what you're doing does not mean anything cannot happen, and it will be the opposite of it. So, but like we always say, when situations like this happen, what really matters? What really matters is your attitude towards such situations, right? That's what really matters, because most times you really cannot control the situation, right? But what you can control is your disposition and how you react to it, right? And in such situation, I think what you need to do, for me, what I would advise you do is for you to understand the fact that something is wrong, right? It could be something is wrong, and you may also want to take a retrospection and meditation on what you think would be the likely cause of it. Is it because maybe you feel that the company you are working with is not really appreciating your value or appreciating your effort? Is it because you are doing too much, or you're overworking yourself? Is it because you feel you are not just getting fulfillment, right? Is it because you feel the people that you're working with, there are people that don't really respect you, right? Or is it just because you feel that it's time for you to leave, or you feel that you're not just happy where you are, right? So I think you should be able to it's one thing for you to be able to understand the root cause of why your battery is being drained. And let's even say that you don't even know, right? You can't attempt to figure it out. I think at that point in time, that's why we have leave, right? There's nothing bad, sincerely. It's just that it's unfortunate that the kind of environment we have in Nigeria is such that we really don't appreciate and value our employees and our staff. Sincerely, there's nothing in other senior climes. There's nothing bad from you taking a week or 2 weeks vacation or break from your place of work, right? Just reach out to whoever it is that is your immediate supervisor and say, see, at this point, I don't think I'm mentally fit to continue. I would like to take a week or 2 weeks just to go refreshing and clear my head, right? And at that point, if you're able to get those kind of approval to go on those kind of vacation, you could use the opportunity to maybe seek for advice, or maybe go on vacation, enjoy life, right? Because sometimes some of us find ourselves in the toxic environment, right? And taking a break sometimes could really reset things back. So for me, if you can able to identify what you think is draining you mentally or emotionally, it really help. And if not, I think you could just take a week or two break with the idea, with the mindset that you are trying to get a solution. And sometimes it could also mean that you may need to seek advice or go for mental health, reach out to mental health coach to also assist or help you out, basically. So that would be what I would say to that question. And if there's anybody in the room or on the call that have other contribution to give in that regard, to go a long way to help. I don't know if there's anybody to say one or two before I go to the next question. Yeah.
Okay, we don't have time on our side. You can take one or two more questions. The time is past spent. So
okay. So okay. Go ahead. Wait, you still want to say something? Yeah, just say something so I'll just attend to the next two questions. Yeah. So you on it? Okay. So you one of
yeah. So I have some other questions there, which I wanted to touch, but I wanted to take Cynthia's question first. But the question I wanted to answer after Cynthia's one is the fact that they knew that when they got into the job, they bubbled their way into the job. They have not done well, but they know they have the potential. How then can they? Maybe they have not really been reliable. How then can they, stage a comeback to like change the reputation that people have towards them? What do you advise? So just answer Cynthia's question first, then go to that.
Okay.
Is that a question for you?
Yeah, please read out the question for me, because okay. I want to ask, what if your immediate manager likes taking the glory for every good work you've done?
Work you've done, and it's discouraging.
So that's why he's your manager.
He's managing you. You are working, taking the glory.
It's not good. Okay, so don't mind me, that's on a lighter note, right? Just like at that point. So again, I think such manager lacks understanding, right? Because what is yours, right? And again, it also depends on how. So I could recall when. So that's why we talk about emotional intelligence and diplomacy and networking, right? I know there are some people that are naturally very difficult to deal with, right? But what I would advise to do in such situation where your manager likes to take the glory, I don't know the kind of setting you are working. If it's a setting that is only that manager that you are working with, then it may be a bit that it could be a bit dicey. But where you are working with more than one manager, sincerely, your good work will speak for you. It's just a matter of time, right? Your good work will speak for you. And again, don't do things again just because you want to impress that manager, right? Just do it because it's your norm. Because sometimes when you are doing things to impress people, you might really not get the results you really want to get. But when you are doing, because over time to actually tell if really you are doing it to impress them or really you are doing it to because you just want to do it because you feel that's the right thing to do, or because you feel that's what you're passionate about, right? So for me, if you feel the kind of your manager is taking on the glory, I don't know how feedbacks and appraisal works in your environment or in your setting in where you're working, but in standardized in standardized setting, especially in the consulting setting, right? They will tell you to appraise yourself. Someone is talking. Okay.
No, go.
Yeah. So in standardized setting, right? If you're opportune to work with other managers, right? So it means that that's not the only manager that will be able to speak about what you've been doing, your performance so far. That's one. Also, some organization will allow you to examine yourself, right? And also have some conversation with your supervisor or with a separate career coach. That's if your organization have a platform where they have the career coach. So you can use the opportunity to tell your career coach to say, see, this is what I've done, right? However, it's not looking like it because you may not really even report to that organization, but report that person that you're working with. But it's a bit dicey, I get, and it could be quite frustrating actually. But I don't think it's all about you trying to. So for such situation, I think how you are able to manage that person also matters. Sometimes you just need to rub those kind of people. You need to massage their ego in a way, right? But I'm not saying you should be at their mercy, right? I don't say you should be at their mercy. I'm not that kind of person, right? But then just know how to massage their ego and just do your thing, right? Do your thing, do your work, and over time it will tell. Sure, you get over time it will tell. What is your own is your own. What is inborn in you, nobody can take it away from you, right? I wish you can give me full context to this particular situation. Maybe I'll be able to advise better, right? But from someone that is from the consulting this thing, right? The HR also make they make you have a career coach, somebody that apart from the person you're working for, that we are working with directly, you also have somebody else that may not necessarily be working for that you could also speak to.
Yes, what is yours is yours. Keep working, your time will come. So I think at this point, we've come to the end of this program. We thank you, Mr. Debo. We thank you all for joining us today. Thank you for being part of this beautiful program from, I think it started in July. This is the last edition for this year. We appreciate you. Don't forget, we'll take the names of the books Mr. Debo share with us, we share with the class. Also, this video will be made available on our YouTube channel. Our team lead here, I think Toye will share with us and Santi, so we can all go back and watch the videos. We can as well watch all our videos we've done from the list I've mentioned earlier on, from what Taiwa shared with us, Ajilore, Yinka, Pastor Emmanuel. They are amazing videos, amazing lectures. We can all learn and gain 1 or 2 things from it. Thank you all for joining us today. I think we can all put on our audio now to say thank you all to Mr. Debo and say a very goodbye.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I
Thank
think-
you. It was very, very exciting.
Toye, what happened? Why are we not seeing your face today, Toye? Thank
Oh, I
you.
saw your video.
Yes, I had to go somewhere. I had to
Well,
go.
I could imagine, right? It's all good.
Yeah.
Man,
but I
thanks,
really love
thanks,
this.
yeah, thanks, Toye, thanks, Possible,
Yeah.
thanks, Alima, thanks, Samson, thanks, Divine,
Yeah, sorry.
Mommy
Hope
Divine.
we'll be able to invite you again.
No, definitely. Why not? If not,
All right.
so sorry.
Thank
So
you so
sorry
much.
that I didn't join on time today. That
No
was
problem.
a good time.
Thanks.
Yeah.